Okay. Don't know if anybody can see this because I'm not totally advertising this, but I am helping out a artist friend trying to figure out some techniques on stuff. So I am just getting things set up. There's going to be no Who Are You content on this stream, but there will be art. And art is always good. So right now what I'm trying to do is share this stream. So just bear with me, folks. By the way, the artwork over here, not by me, by somebody called, I guess, Galactic Potato or something. It's for another comic, and like I said, I am helping them out. I need to find. I haven't linked yet. Oh, okay. People are already linked. So I just realized I don't think. Is anybody. Testing, testing. Ah, there we go. Now it sounds like people are getting me. If people can hear me and see the stream and stuff like that, please post in the comments. I'm just going to try to set up something real quick. Yes.
Are you able to hear Bubby?
Okay, I can see her in the comments now.
There's a thing we can do.
Okay. So I need to get into the call again.
And then what you do, you've muted yourself, you should be able to hear them. Okay.
Alright, everything's like 20 seconds delay on
Sorry about that. Okay, and hopefully you guys don't get a horrible echo. Okay, so what I'm going to do is draw the...
No, we're good.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting an echo and it's throwing me off a little bit. I'll try to work past it. I'm going to draw um, the basic shapes for the things using a fuzzy brush.
You want the echo to go away?
Maybe.
Pause. Where are you open on YouTube on this?
I'm not.
Then I can't help. Never mind. Your wife is silly.
Okay. Let's... So kind of... Just sort of free-handed out. These shapes are always kind of honeycomb-like. And free-handed out. These shapes are always kind of honeycomb-like. And we can do more to distort them a little bit later.
It's actually the drop shadow that I'm having trouble with.
The drop shadow?
Because the thing that's on there is the thing. It was where it's the wave pattern thing is actually a default on here. I just used it and just put it out as overlay. It's the drop shadows that are like.
Okay, so are you talking about the shadows on the... No, it's all right. It's all right. Okay, so are you talking about shadows on the... Okay, hold on a sec. I'm gonna mute the stream, but bring me myself back up on the Discord. Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute the stream, but bring me myself back up on the Discord. Okay, can people hear me? Okay, so we'll have a little bit of a lag with the video, as it were, but this will prevent the weirdness.
Yeah, I've got to mute the.
Okay, so we'll have a little bit of a lag. Hopefully it's actually muting things. Xavier, shh. Okay, so... Okay. Okay, oh, so you're trying to do the shadows on the faces. Okay.
Like I have my regular shadowing. It's this. I don't. What did Potato call it again?
Truth be told, I freehand that stuff. I'm going to bring up this picture. Okay. Yeah, I'm turning off my shadows, and I will put in a new layer.
Oh my gosh. I didn't mute the stream. I shut the stream off. I gotta load it back up.
Okay, so the way I do shadows is I create a layer and I do a process that sort of links it to the colors so that way it doesn't fall off into the background normally. Because usually I have the characters as their own set of layers. I then set that layer to multiply, and I use a shade of gray or some other color depending on the situation. And then I just freehand the shading. And if its shading needs to go onto the face, I just do that and try to kind of follow the shape of things. And the brush I'm using is set to hard, basically, so that because that's just kind of the style I'm going with. So hopefully I'm making sense.
Yeah. But they seem like a pest.
Don't worry about it. The reason I am doing this is to help teach you what I do, or at the very least a way to do this. So I need, if you have questions, ask questions.
It's that. Not so much the shading on the face, it's that stuff that I don't know what to do.
Referring to
Yeah, the cast shadow. That's what it's called.
okay. Well, the cast shadow, it's just sort of um, a mindset about it, is because I don't do anything different. I just think, okay, this is the general shape of it, and then I draw accordingly. I'm sorry if that's not a super great answer. Let me try showing one more time.
Oh, weird. My phone's like going all over the place. Draw a line that shoots across the screen.
Are you using your tablet? Could be a sensitivity thing or something. But I am using a pen tablet. I think we mentioned before that I have a Cintiq that I got for really, really cheap off of a friend of mine who was getting rid of it. So for like the shadow from her welding bonnet that goes onto her head, I just basically kind of follow the general shape of that. And if I make a mistake, I either Control Z or erase it. And there are times where I will spend like a couple of minutes trying to do a shape, undoing it, trying to do a shape, undo it. Here's another section that would have a cast shadow. In this case, it would be curved to follow the curvature of basically the cylinder that makes up her torso. And my basic kind of education, if you will, on shading comes from a old PBS host or a PBS show called Draw Squad by Mark Kistler. And you can actually still find his books on Amazon and stuff like that. And he goes over the basics of drawing three-dimensional shapes as well as shading and highlighting and stuff. It's very basic stuff, but it's amazing, easy to follow, and I would highly recommend it if you want something to sort of help reinforce some of these ideas. Now, I guess if you wanted to use the lasso tool, you basically can use that to draw your shapes. Then you switch to a fill. And there you go. So basically you would use the lasso tool as to draw out the edges of what you think the shading should look like.
That's one thing Potato needs to get, is that just telling me how to do it isn't helping me with anything.
Feels like an understandable
Yeah.
Am I making...
The other issue I'm having is that I'm so afraid to say that's still not what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's... Going back to the Discord. Now, for the... Okay.
Because this is what I have so far. Like, this is... Maybe if I show you the actual image I have, and you put it beside the one that Potato sent, then you...
Go for it.
See what's going on. Oh my god, I didn't know the image was so huge. I turned it down. I didn't know my monitor was that huge. I'll bring it over. Ah! Stop that. Oh wait, I can't do that!
Hmm?
There is an unfavorable trophy enemy. Undefeatable.
Xavier, I appreciate something that is important to you right now, but I'm working on something. Now, I just created sort of a similar effect to what you're talking about here, I think. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. And what I did there was in this case, I just used... Yay! I did a right thing. In this case, what I just did is I used the regular rectangular marquee tool, which works the same way as the lasso tool, just it makes squares instead of freehand things. And then I went over to my brush, set it to to soft, and then just went down and then deselect, and there you go. So you have the hard lines on the edge there, and because of you using the soft brush, it ends all fuzzy at the end there. Does that make sense?
And it was that simple. Potato made it sound like it was some weird extravagant thing.
So let's see. I'm trying to find. There we go. So let's move Builda over here. So in this case, we'll create a layer underneath Builda, and we'll use the lasso tool to create a sort of general shape. Only problem is I'm too zoomed out for this.
Oh, I hate it when it does that. When you're trying to select something and then it cuts you off because you're trying to scroll down at the same time.
I'm sure there's a way I can scroll and keep the selection tool going, but I don't know what it is right now. And right now, what's more important is showing you this technique. Okay, so now I'm all there, and we go. Sound effects are not necessary, but are fun. And then we'll go ahead and set that to multiply just so that way you get. Whoop! So that looks cool too. Multiply is like one of the layer tools that I use the most. Anyway, so now you kind of end it. It kind of ends fuzzy there. Also, what you can do is you can just straight up use the eraser tool set to fuzzy to thin it out a little bit more if you need to. Even thinning it out up here. Oh, help if I have the right tool selected.
Well, I'm giving you a go hunting.
No, you gotta do that too. Like, the writing was really supposed to be underwater. It's just the effect. Plus, my computer can't handle it.
Sometimes if you have a whole bunch of layers and your computer isn't super powerful, it can start slowing things down. That was an issue I was running into with the comic, with the computer I had before this one. It got to the point where I had to actually divide some of the comics up into 2 or more sections, because otherwise I was getting horrific lag where I draw a line and then it would take like half a second for the line to actually appear. So have I clued you in on how to do it? Yep. Now, another way I would do this. So I've just duplicated Builda here, and I can do let's do a gradient overlay. Make sure that it's
I'm getting it, sweetie. Just a minute.
oh. And then layer, rasterize, layer style. So what I did there was I just basically copied the entire body shape, converted that into something that could be colored into the gradient, and then offset it a little bit. Okay, so are we good, Bobby? And oh yeah, all these shading layers are in a layer behind the main image, so that way it doesn't interfere with anything. Xavier. Okay. Can anybody still hear me? Okay. So have I cleared the mystery up a little bit, Bobby?
Yeah. At least of what I'm supposed to be doing, but like I said, my computer will not let me. It keeps freezing up.
Oh dear.
And to be honest, it was freezing up after I said it was finished. It took me a while to actually have it render, and then Potato goes, "No, add this stuff that I actually do not know what he's talking about." He says that because of the way that water is, it drops a shadow more like a beam.
Yeah.
Other than, the way that shadows show like regularly.
Yeah, it's effectively like light being cast onto something. Unfortunately, other than flattening a bunch of layers or something like that, obviously after maybe saving it as a separate file or something like that, I don't know what else you can do to limit the strain on your machine.
I was gonna say I'm finished.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. If you got any other questions, feel free to ask them through Joan because she's on here more often than me. Okay. Bye-bye.